consolidated area. And from what the information that I get and from driving around the city, I think we have less than 1% of the city land is actually vacant, less than 1%. So I haven't seen any 2 acre lot around the downtown area or any land that abuts the downtown. So this is not practical. This 2 acre is not practical at all. I mean, just look at our city. Look at the West Dixie Highway. It's a lot of little plazas. I mean, they just sitting there. I mean, you can have developers come and really redo West Dixie Highway. This is the face of the city. So, to piggyback on this continued issue of 2 acres, I mean, again, this is first reading. This is first reading. Anything that is voted today can be reversed, at the following meeting. With that, I will make a motion to really accept the planning commission's recommendations to reduce it from 2 to 0.5 acres so that we can develop the city.
1 second, Mayor.
Yeah.
It's from 2 to 0.5 or 1.5?
0.5 from 2 to half. That's what the recommendation is. And I've gone over this and
And I second that.
I've driven around
Question.
and West Dixie is looking
Oh.
way too bad.
No, I just had a quick question. Staff is recommending 2.0.
2 acres, yeah.
Okay, and then
Planning
okay,
Commission will
and then your
recommend
amendment
0.5.
is just recommending going along with the planning commission with
Yeah.
0.5. Okay, thank you.
Okay, so I have a motion made by Mayor Smith Joseph, as stated on the record by Mayor Smith Joseph.
And I
That
second.
motion was seconded by Councilman Bien-Aimé. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Nay.
Nay.
Item passed with a 3-2 vote.
The next one that very. Let me see.
No, I had one question also.
Go ahead. No.
Back on the chart of, where it talks about the PCD and the density on Biscayne Boulevard. I don't know, I lost it. It talked about the density,
In which section are you? Maybe I can help you.
section 2,
Okay, I'm on 3.
So we're going back
It
for
talked-
section.
you talk about density of like 125 per acre, but that would include also the east side of Biscayne Boulevard. I don't think that was the intention.
So that's for planned. What's it called?
The PCD,
You got-
here.
Yeah, Planned
okay.
Development District,
Page
PDD.
Page
Oh,
39.
PDD.
Page 39, the bottom, Biscayne Boulevard. And it says density 125 units per acre.
39.
That should be on the east side, that should be on the west side, not the east side.
Yeah, we picked that up on the Scrivener's error list. Yes,
And
ma'am.
what did you do with that? Just on the west side? I didn't see that on the Scrivener's here.
What section is that? I know it's page 30. Huh?
4-306, B3.
Transit oriented. Transit oriented.
So you fix that? So is that just for the west side?
East side, west side.
Central side. This is like the
Do we have an answer? You really lost me, Councilwoman. I can't try.
Bottom of page 39.
39. Which on page 39 I have a bunch of letters. I mean numbers.
Yes.
No?
306
what she said.
B3. At the bottom where it says B. Three, B3B. At the bottom of page 39,
That's
on
section
the left.
410.
No, we have a different
We have a
page.
different.
I have a different
That's
page
the different
39.
version, because that's
That-
page 49,
We'll go to
actually.
4-306. I'm going to the
Yeah,
original
go
LDS.
ahead,
Go to
4.
4-306,
4-306.
Plan
I got
Corridor,
page 39 right here.
6, yeah.
Section
You're
B.
in 5.
Yeah, well, it's page 39. I went by the page number.
Section 4 then.
So each of these pages, they're not continuous.
So the numbers are different.
No. It starts over every article.
Oh, it starts number. Oh, okay.
So how do you, which article are we in?
Section 4.
Section 4-306.
Every article, then they start at one again.
So, but
Yeah.
there should be a
This here.
tab, like Harold has. Which,
I don't
so
have
which tab is
tabs.
it? No, but you made your own stuff, right?
So you had letter B, what? B what?
Section 3, I got you.
B3B.
Okay, I got it now. Density 125
So keep on going.
dwelling units per acre.
That should
Subject.
only be for the west side of Biscayne Boulevard, not the east
Oh, okay,
side.
now I go to page 39. I see.
Okay.
Oh, my God.
Okay, Councilwoman wants to make an amendment.
No, I don't, was it?
Well, it's not that.
I think staff
You want to
already,
add
did
it?
staff change it or not?
It's not changes.
39. Okay.
Okay, so it's only gonna be,
The change.
no, I understand, but it's only for the west side? Yes. Okay,
You're right, it's correct on the map. The comprehensive plan text needs to be amended. It was an error.
with the density?
Yes, it's on the right side, it's on the correct side. So it's on the west side only, but not on 123rd.
Wait,
I'm sorry, north of 123rd. Thank you.
so the map shows density? The map just shows a district,
The map is correct.
but is the map showing density?
The map doesn't show the density, but the designation on the map shows
But that's
PCD.
not, yeah, but the problem is, the east side of the Biscayne Boulevard in the Biscayne Boulevard has a PCD.
I mean,
You have PCD on east and west side of Biscayne Boulevard. Okay.
Okay, let's clarify it now, please, so that we can move. What it, Councilwoman, excuse me, Councilwoman is questioning.
What will be changed in the
Yes.
text is it's applied to the west side of Biscayne Boulevard Commercial Corridor beginning at northeast 123rd Street, north to northeast 135th.
Will not be 125.
All development fronting the west side.
Okay.
It's gonna be limited to 55 feet on the west side. All development fronting the west side of Biscayne Boulevard
You have it.
shall be limited to a maximum height of 55 feet. Then when you, the,
Which one are we reading? I'm sorry, Miss.
so. Yeah, but we have it correct then. Yeah,
Well, can somebody read the corrected version?
all right. Is it the density?
The density. That the density on, the density of 125 units per acre is only on the west side, not the east side.
On the east side.
On the west side, it's
B,
110, on
B.
the east side, it's 55.
On the west side.
She got it.
Yes, sir.
B3.
The density at
Paragraph B.
125 DUs per acre.
is on the west side of Biscayne. That's all she's trying to clarify.
Consistent with A.
Forget A. A is written correctly.
West side. Okay. That's where I was getting confused. My apologies. On the west side.
No, yeah, it just needs to be clarified because
So B
it doesn't state
Okay, so B is.
The density
should
is
say
only, applied to the
to the
west
west
side.
C. So is that a scrivener's
Can I-
error or are we making a change?
Is that in your scrivener's area?
No.
Please make your motion to change that language.
It's gonna
Okay.
be done that way.
Motion that on section 4-306, B3B, density of 125 units per acre is only on the west side of Biscayne Boulevard.
Second. I have a motion made by Councilwoman Keys, as stated on the record. That motion was seconded by Vice Mayor Galvin. All opposed?
All opposed?
All opposed? All in favor?
Aye.
That's only 2 votes. I'm sorry, I'm going to record that again. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Nay.
We see, he just, you know, like,
Item passed with a 4-1 vote. Right?
can I ask, a question while we at this? Can, through a text, Ms. Love, through a text amendment, can we, if something is stated here, can we go back and change it as far as the land use, or this is the proper time to do it? Or forever hold your peace? That will be in the complaint. Okay, I got it. Thank you.
Right, whatever you guys,
This is fine.
and maybe, I think you stated this at the beginning, whatever you guys approved in the comprehensive plan was approved. All we're
Okay.
doing is getting it down to the writing in this process.
Got
So it is it's still a limited scope of work here. So if you want to change anything that was in comp plan, well, what you asked me to do already, we can include that in the process that we will initiate
Got
after
it.
this is done.
Okay.
Just for the record, Mayor, I have to hear your votes. So that's why, no, meaning that when you guys vote, you can't just, I got to hear either yea or nay so that we can record it.
I said nay.
That's not you. I'm yelling at Councilman Penniman here, so I need to hear the affirmative yea or
Yeah,
nay.
you only heard my nay.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mayor.
Okay.
Okay, who's next? Me?
No,
Uh,
I'm next. I didn't go yet.
Hold on a second. The other ones I have are very easy. Yeah, we're still on Article 3, Section 5 dash Article 4, Section. Which division is this? It's about the definition of dropping child care. The Planning Commission. He recommends that he adequately covered in 5-105 A period 4 and the section and definition there should be deleted, and then just go back and accept it. The standard requires parents to remain on site where enforceable and
Right, that-
unnecessary for these licensed
5, sir.
facilities.
It's in 5.
Is it in 5?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we're still in 4. I'm sorry then. So if you have anything in 4, go ahead.
Quick question, Ms. Sejour or Nixon. In reference to 119, what section would that fall under? The permitting of the farm, not the farming, but you know which question?
Article 4.
Would that be under 4? Okay, just on the record, I would like for us to prohibit, well, at least for that
Thank you, sir.
particular area, any urban or commercial garden. I think that's,
Oh, is that? Are we going over
Right.
the chart?
Where are we now? Where are you?
we are on
Right.
section
That is-
4.
Section 4?
Yeah. It's already, okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
No, is that we're going over the chart?
No, not
that
this is on the section 4. I'm sorry.
5.
Let's go forward.
We're still on.
Is this part of section 4 is the permitted uses?
Yeah.
I have a couple comments on those when you're ready.
Okay, are you finished, Mr. Councilman?
I think, Nixon, you say it's not permanent, right?
It is
So this
permitted.
Okay, I do not want it, prohibit in that particular area.
In which particular, sir?
Is it C1?
C1?
Okay, in that particular, yes, if
So you
possible.
do you want it footnoted so it's only applied to a specific
Yes,
location?
I would not mind. Thank you. Unless
You
there's,
all
if others,
Your book?
a commercial gardening, like selling farms.
Councilman Des, may you please state your motion on the record, please?
My state, well, is it a motion, sir? My
Yeah,
motion
yeah.
would be to prohibit, commercial gardening, urban gardening, if that's the proper way, along the quarter of C1 in D4.
Where,
I have a motion made by Councilman Desiree as stated on the record. Do I have a second to approve his motion?
that's on this chart?
Yeah. Yes, it's in the
It's under.
in the concern. I don't. Yes, go ahead.
Greenhouse?
No, not a greenhouse, but a commercial.
Urban agriculture?
Yeah. Yes.
And again, you wanted it only limited to prohibiting on 119th.
Yes, on 119th in that particular. I don't mind it anywhere, but I'm sorry.
What is urban gardening?
Like a commercial selling farm, because that's one of the proposal to actually have a selling of farm goods stuff, like farm share stuff. They want to do it.
That's not what an urban garden is.
Okay, what is?
An urban garden is, for example, when you take an empty lot and then the community goes in and starts planting vegetables.
Vegetables,
And that sort of, it's
yeah.
like more of a community garden.
No. That's not what. No. What I'm saying specifically in the question that I had and I had with staff, it's considered as community as urban gardening, but it's actually commercial. Which we even talk about maybe limiting the size of the lot in order for us to, where they actually sell the product to. It's something similar to that, but everything is planted within the area. We staff and we had this particular conversation, and there's one particular. Okay.
Community gardens typically
On
have,
It's not-
On the microphone.
Go ahead.
it's smaller in nature. It's not really for like a large market. The idea is that it's small subsistence farming, that's for the community. Some people sell the tomatoes or fruits or whatever it is they
That-
bring on the garden, but it's not like a large scale type of operation.
That's the problem.
Definition-wise where it falls.
That was exactly.
When FDOT puts a giant old highway down on Northwest 119th Street in the next 5 years, I don't think anybody's gonna worry about any gardens growing.
But right now, it is it's permitted on, and that was my concern. I'm sorry.
It's one of the proposals included for 119 in the
Yes.
chart. So you're saying take it out.
I would like the board to consider just for 119, et cetera, et cetera.
Right. So footnote that,
No, I don't want no Tima shit. I already have.
we'd have to add something.
I made the motion. The reason that I'm saying, because I already have a vendor. No, I just wanted to, because I do not want residents, if this does pass to if we trying to develop, we're trying to
Where's
get
the
developers to
beginning of
come in
Article
and
Where's the beginning
This is-
of Article 5?
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Sorry.
So, no, go ahead, Mr.
Your
Mayor.
mic was off.
Oh, so that's my motion for that particular strip, et cetera, et cetera.
So Councilman Desiree made a motion as stated on the record earlier.
Second.
We have a second by Councilman Vice Mayor Galvin. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? I'm sorry, I have to hear either affirmative or nay. So all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Item passes with a 5-0 vote.
I don't understand the motion, so I can't vote for
You
it.
just voted. I heard you say aye.
You did?
I have,
Folks, the meeting is starting to get real sloppy. I think everybody's either getting tired or losing interest or something, but if we can.
Are you finished with
Yes,
your?
sir, yes, sir, I'm done.
Okay, Councilman Ganemi,
I have,
oh, go ahead.
we still in section 4?
yes, Article 4.
Hmm?
Yeah.
No, Article 4, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Section 4203A.
4, 2, 3. We go back. What page is that?
The recommendation of the Planning Commission as far as the square feet of the units. The Planning Commission recommend 550.
We've already done that.
We haven't done that.
What did we do?
We left it at
What has it?
550.
That's when we approved the planning, we adopt the planning one.
I think it was staff and the planning commission recommended it.
Which one we just, what I see where? That's when staff recommend, have the same recommendation as the planning commission? But, Councilwoman Keys make, the
Yeah, it died
motion
without,
and
it
he
died
died.
without a second.
And we keep, that's when you're telling me the same recommendation of the planning, that's the one that staff recommend also?
Yes.
Huh?
No, they added, if I may through the mayor.
As,
If I may through the mayor.
Go ahead.
They agreed to the language that's here, but they also added, except that not more than 20% of the residential units in the overlay and special purpose districts may be 500 square feet. So they went a little bit further.
okay. That's the one,
That's
On
the
the
additional
document.
language that the planning commission recommended.
okay. And you said you already passed.
You,
No.
you as a board accepted the language that was here. It was considered,
What page?
Well-
Give me the language that was,
That's written. We only,
it's as written. It says.
what page?
Page 7, below the chart.
Let me make sure
Okay.
I understand.
Which 7 are we on? Because I'm confused. Okay.
You're in
Artic-
Article 4,
Yeah.
page 7.
If I could-
Article 4, it's 4-203A, and then it's
Eight.
the first starred language underneath the chart.
I don't have eight.
The maximum floor area dwelling.
Page
unit?
7.
This one.
In the chart, it's that first, see the chart, and below it's the first,
No, you're in
section
the
of
wrong
writing.
section. This one. The one that says the maximum floor area dwelling unit in the R1 district is 1,000, is that the one?
Yeah.
Okay,
Read it for me.
that's the, well,
You want me to read it?
says the maximum floor area dwelling unit in the R1 district is, I'm sorry?
It's minimum.
You
said maximum.
Oh, I'm sorry, the minimum. The minimum floor area of the dwelling unit in the R1 district is 1,500 square feet, and in the R2 district is 1,000 square feet, except for colleges and universities, et cetera, multifamily unit, the minimum size for a dwelling unit in the multifamily residential and mixed use, I guess we scratching that out, is 550.
Okay, that's the one we adopt. Okay. Okay.
So you okay? All right. She tried to change it. Yes.
Mayor?
Another section 4202 about self-storage facility is on the same, is on Article 4, right?
What's the number again? 4202?
Uh-huh.
Section. What do you mean?
We going back.
Right?
You're in Article 5. Which one are you referring to?
I'm referring to the planning commission proposal.
Yeah, what is it? What
Section
section does it say?
4202,
That's page 4.
type of use self-storage facility.
It's on page 4. Oh, yeah, what about the self-storage?
So would you like, I can, want me to read what they had?
Give me the page. Article
It's page 4.
4. Okay.
Section 4202.
Okay.
Yeah, so in the footnote,
Page 4.
in the footnote, they
There was
added,
this page 4 here?
the planning commission added to the footnote, prohibit, and this is with regards to self-storage facilities as a type of use, prohibit on 123rd to 125th Street from Biscayne Canal to Bayshore Drive, except for projects on 123rd Street that have been designed and discussed with staff prior to May 17th,
Now the
2017.
planning one, what do we recommend staff?
It's prohibited.
Everywhere or except for that building?
No, in that area, prohibited in that area. They,
Oh,
What
Can
staff
we-
can staff, Tanya, I'm within at the planning commission proposal. What about staff?
It's currently prohibited in the C2B
Everywhere.
So go back to it.
E
Go-
Including that-
district. C2BE is what they're referring to. It's prohibited in the district, but planning commission asks for an exemption for
In exception of that
that
one?
specific
Okay, but
area.
you still recommend that it's prohibited everywhere?
Correct,
Okay,
in the C2BE.
yeah, yeah.
In the C2BE, yeah. not
That
everywhere.
should be my.
C2BE,
With the
C2BE
exception for that
area.
For that
property.
carve out.
Correct.
the C2B, that's the brownish.
Because there is a residential,
C2BE is everything east side of Biscayne.
Yeah,
and
no, I
running
understand that.
east on 123rd Street.
okay,
So currently does not allow for storage facilities. So
anywhere.
this would be the exception. That
Wait
No,
a minute.
one
the exception
side
is
would
from the
allow.
planning commission,
Correct,
but you did not recommend that.
correct.
Okay.
We're recommending
I want
to
it at
remain
as
with the
it
prohibition.
is. As proposed, yeah,
What are we,
exactly.
okay, what are we prohibiting in C2?
Okay, it's a
In
planning
section
commission
4-202, he's making an amendment to leave it as
As
staff
is.
recommended.
He's
No,
not
as
changing nothing.
recommended by staff.
Okay, so he said, yeah, as recommended by staff, that's what I'm saying.
But it's the same thing on paper. It's nothing changed.
So,
Okay,
So he doesn't need to make a
that's
motion.
what I did not have the,
but,
okay.
quick question, Debbie, with C1, so C1 and CB2
2B.
is, because she's saying everything east of that, so 7th Avenue would not consider as, that's a C1.
It's C1, correct.
So,
C2B.
however, wait, yeah, no, but it's not C2B?
It's not C2B.
No, this is
Okay.
C2BE.
It's everything on the
Can
east
we,
side of Biscayne.
can we add C2, that into CB1? Or that's already, it's already, Dixon, is that already part of, okay, never mind, thank you.
Along 7th Avenue.
Mayor, any more
Yeah,
amendments to
coalition.
article?
Go ahead.
We're almost
No, I
halfway
don't
through.
have any amendments. I just have a question for staff. The alcohol beverage is in what article? Huh? Yeah. It's not on Article 4. It's on 5, okay, that's fine.
So, this section we just went over is Article 4, right?
Yes.
So is there any amendment in Article 4?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Just on the chart, a couple, under permitted uses, I would like to delete, laundromat self-service and the C2BE and C2PW. Reason being that they are not high-quality commercial use as defined by those two, sections.
So I have a motion made by Councilwoman Keys, as stated on the record. Do I have a second to her motion?
I second it for
That's to remove laundromat and what else? Just laundromat?
mechanic shop.
Where did I just have it? I
This
think
way.
it just.
We-
Self-service laundromats
Mm-hmm.
in the C2BE and the C2BW.
To begin, I'll second that.
Okay.
Okay, so I have a motion made by Councilwoman Keys, as stated on the record, and then as clarified on the record again, and that motion was seconded by Mayor Smith Joseph. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Nay.
Okay, any other amendments to
Passed 3 to 1.
Huh?
Passed 3 to 1. I voted nay.
Okay. So that item was passed 3 to 1, and when Councilman Desmay gets back, we'll
You'll
record
get
his
it.
vote.
Any other proposed amendment to Article 4? I think that's the end of, is it, this is Article 5 or 4?
No, 4.
Is it still 4? Jeez. It's only the beginning. Any other proposed amendment? In Article 4? Okay, now we need a motion to approve.
Well, Mayor, if you don't mind, you want to do the general motion without Desiree?
With him.
Yeah, we have quorum.
Yeah, we have a call.
Okay.
Just because it was on.
I'll make a motion to approve 4 as amended.
I have a motion made by Vice Mayor Galvin to approve Article 4
Second.
as amended. That motion was seconded by Mayor Smith Joseph. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Nay.
You see, this is the problem.
There is only one nay. There is only one nay.
We're going to do that again. So we do have a motion as stated on the record by Councilman Galvin. That motion was seconded by Mayor Joseph. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Nay. Well, oh, which one was that? Overall. Nay. Nay.
Item passes with a 4-1 vote. And now, Mayor, with your permission, may I revisit the previous item so that we can record Councilman Desmai's vote?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, we don't have to revisit it.
Okay, so the motion that was made by Councilwoman Keys, seconded by Mayor Joseph, Councilman Desmay voted yes, so that item passes with a 4-1 vote. Councilman Galvin voted no.
No,
That was the previous one.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, this one you voted yes.
Can
Keys
someone
voted no.
clarify it for me? What's the last page number for Article 4?
Voted.
Oh, it's page,
What's the last page number for Article 4?
42.
What?
42.
42 and then stops Article 5. Okay. Now I'm getting somewhere.
but you're right, Mr. Mayor, because they don't have it on top, that is Article 5.
And yeah, they don't write article number or anything. It's like we have to keep fishing. It doesn't say article.
Where is
It doesn't say until page 6.
So the last page is 44. I'm sorry. And then no, it continues.
Your article, it starts. Wait.
Here with the map.
Here's 42, and then section 5 starts on page 1.
Yeah, page 1 is Article
Maybe I
5,
went.
but it's 5.
It just
5101,
it starts with
okay.
Division 1 accessory uses instructions.
It was in the back of the
Okay, here we go. I got it. Yeah, I got it. It starts with Division 1 accessory uses
the
instructions.
Division 1? That's how it starts.
Hmm?
Okay, page 44. Yeah. Then make the book, we can be confused.
But it starts with, that's Article 5, starts with Division 1, accessory uses and instructions, right? But why do mine start with Section 5-101?
That's it.
Okay. So, section, Councilwoman, you want to start?
Okay. Accessory uses, I think there was discussion at the planning commission and also drive-through facilities, to allow them in the C3. And also there's language on,
We already voted on that.
did you? Accessory uses of drive-through facilities?
We haven't yet, but I don't want it.
You don't want it?
No.
Okay, well, that was my suggestion,
I
planning
saw, yeah.
commission. And also, they had deleted the use of drive-through accessories in the NRO. That was on page 10. Drive-through shall not be permitted in the NRO except existing prior to the adoption.
Article 4, where did it
So you want to make an amendment for that?
I don't know, I think drive-throughs are okay. I don't know why we would prohibit them. If you want a nice,
No, that's Article 4.
pardon me?
So, question for staff. Staff, why are you recommending eliminating the drive-throughs?
So you want lots of Taco Bells and
Banks and Whataburger.
Starbucks drive-throughs?
So the approach to the current LDRs was to create a pedestrian-oriented downtown. And one of the recommendations was to not have those drive-throughs that you typically would see associated with the fast food chains, and instead allow for more pedestrian-type activities in the downtown. So this is current language, and we're saying keep the current language that's in place.
Second that.
What?
Well, if it's keeping current, then let's
Or
only
if
bring
it's
up the
keeping
stuff-
current, so
let's
you
only
don't
bring up
have
the
to
stuff we
vote
wanna
on it.
change, yeah, because we're gonna be here all night if we're bringing up
So
stuff.
we're gonna allow special exceptions, and we're gonna allow drive-through in C3 and NRO?
We currently don't, and we're
currently
saying leave the language as is.
We
With a
don't, so you don't have to do
pedestrian-oriented
anything.
downtown is what we're recommending.
Yep, I'm not gonna touch it. There was discussion of food trucks. And, a thought was to allow food trucks in private property that is incidental to the use. So if a restaurant wants to have a food truck, they could operate it in their parking lot. So like Heffi's has they didn't ask for it, Heffi's has a food truck. If they wanted to have their food truck up and operating, they could. So if there was if it was incidental to the business and they wanted to allow a food truck to operate, thought we could start with that. The motion is to allow food trucks, but we've written out incidental use to businesses. Restaurants may have food trucks in their lot.
So I have a motion made by Councilwoman Keys, as just stated on the record. Do I have a second to her motion?
Yeah.
Item fails for no second.
Okay, outdoor dining, you allow restaurants in the M1, so you should allow outdoor dining to go with it. I don't know if you need a motion, if that was just something you were fixing. Staff,
In the M1.
okay?
Because some of it is, we agree. We definitely agree.
Yeah,
We agree. I said it twice.
Is your mic on?
Your mic's
It's on. We concur.
Okay.
Okay, next, on, page 5, and they're talking about the, accessory dwellings. I believe we're gonna keep those. We are gonna have affordable housing because that is required statute. I would like to have,
Welcome to hell, Jennifer.
since people are going to be acting or are acting as landlords, they should register with the city and they should meet minimum housing standards.
Which one is that now? I'm
It's
sorry.
on the B.
It has to do with accessory, rental, like little granny flats, whatever you call 'em in the back. You have a separate structure in your property. We have, I believe, 30,
Efficiencies?
they're whatever size.
Shall,
It just says superior office.
No, I know, but I'm saying the type of homes.
This is an affidavit.
We have 30, yeah, well, we have 35 of them in our city, and people rent them out to people. And if they're going to be renting them, they are actually operating a business, so they should register with the city, and they should meet minimum housing standards. You can't just put a huge family in a little tiny garage in the back. And it is now going to be affordable housing, so we do want to keep up the standards and make sure that the homeowners are keeping these properties up.
second the motion?
Okay, but we need a clarified motion. Can you state it for the record exactly what's your motion, Councilwoman Keys?
That with regard to
Section,
Section 5-102 accessory dwellings, and that's paragraph
just later.
B, that we add a provision that these accessory uses be registered with the city and are required to meet minimum housing standards.
Okay, so I have a motion, as stated on the record by Councilwoman Keys. That motion was seconded by Councilman Scott Galvin. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
nay.
Item fails with a 3-2 vote. And just for the record, the nay votes were Councilman Bieneme, Councilman Desime, and Mayor Smith Joseph.
And Carol Keys.
Okay, on, okay, page 19, section 5-108, D, I don't know if it's just a staff clearing up, to talk about antennas or satellite dishes, and it's one private, non-commercial dish allowed per single-family home, duplex or triplex. There should be one each, there should be 2 allowed in a duplex and 3 allowed in a triplex.
So I have a motion made, oh, I'm sorry.
Is that a clarification of
Right.
staff, or is that
I think that-
page 19?
Non-commercial dish antennas. Which one though? It's in connection with the multifamily.
So Councilwoman Keys, to clarify, if you look at the language,
Per unit.
it says per unit. So by virtue of
Well,
a
it says-
duplex having 2 units, that would allow that duplex
Doesn't
to
say per
have
unit,
2
it says or
antennas.
townhouse unit. It doesn't say duplex unit, triplex unit.
We could add the word unit in.
You want to add the word unit to after duplex and
Yeah.
after triplex?
Yeah, just to show that it's a 2 and a 3. So I think that's just a staff to clarify, if that's okay.
You don't need a
It's
motion?
news to me that anybody's still using a satellite dish.
I do. Direct TV.
Okay, was that a?
We just did.
Yeah, we need a motion.
Okay, may you clarify your motion for the record, Councilwoman Keys,
Okay,
please?
a motion to clarify section 5-108, paragraph D, that it make clear that it is 1 satellite dish per duplex unit and 1 satellite dish per triplex unit.
That motion was made by Councilwoman Keys, so I have a second to approve. Councilwoman, did you want
He
to?
has a second. Let's move on. She has a second by Councilman.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Councilman Desmay has seconded Councilwoman Keys' motion as stated on the record. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Item passed with a 5-0 vote.
Okay, Councilwoman, do you have any more amendments?
I do. This is big unit.
Let's go.
I'm
Let's-
almost done though.
Let's keep them coming.
Section 5-1404 exempt parking areas. We've added some very large language to eliminate and exempt parking, and they've changed it if you are within the certain area, 124th to 126, that you are exempt from any parking within 2,500 feet. Then you don't need parking at all. I think it was originally 200 feet. And they added except an additional 500 feet upon review. That means if you can build in this little area and have no parking if you're 200 feet from a municipal parking lot, which is kind of crazy if you have handicapped children, et cetera. But I would rather leave it than increase it to 2,500 feet. That means if you have a parking lot a half a mile from your apartment, you don't need to have parking requirements, which is,
Okay, so
So
Councilwoman Keys, would you like to state your motion on the record, please?
On commercial only, right?
no, any redevelopment.
1404. It's 1404.
And you've got, for staff, just to fix up, okay, for staff to fix up 126th Street, 124th Street, to put in northeast, to better describe the area. It's
need-
it's a bounded area from 9th Avenue to Dixie, from 124th to 126th.
Noted.
I think staff needs to make it more clear, which that they have agreed. But what I'm asking for in section 5 dash motion,
Okay, this is the motion, okay.
5-1404 to keep the distance at 200 feet and eliminate the 2,500 feet.
I have a motion made by Councilwoman Keys, as stated on the record just now. Do I have a second to approve her motion? Item
Yes.
okay, so I have a second made by Councilman
You already
Bieneme.
had a second by Councilman Desum. You seconded it.
All right, guys, this is for, okay, so I got, Bieneme made the second, okay. All in favor?
Aye?
All opposed?
Nay.
Item fails by a 3-2 vote. And just for the record, the nay vote were Councilman Galvin, Councilman Desime, and Mayor Smith Joseph. That's the nay votes.
Give up. Okay, I'll keep going.
I'm sorry.
On page 151, why did we eliminate revolving barbershop signs? We don't want those in our city? Staff? Oh, I don't know. 5-1502, page 151. 151.
I've got lots of questions about those telegraph lines you want us to take down. I'm just teasing. When was the last time you saw a revolving barbershop sign?
They have them. They're awesome. They're very collectible. Anyway, it used to be in our zoning code, and you've struck it. So you're eliminating the use of barber signs.
So now you're including them.
I mean,
I'll second the motion to return moving barbershop signs. Come on, can we have to do something, guys? I mean, it's starting to get a little, we're
I'm
starting to get a
almost
little
done. I
giddy,
only have
but.
two more. I
Yeah,
only
but then we have two more sections after we get through this.
No, I
This is
only have
starting to
two
get.
more
It's
of
legal
the
that
whole thing.
Mr.
I'm
Harold
almost done.
Mr. Mayor.
Okay, call the vote.
No, that was a joke, Galvin. No, because I didn't get your mo.
The vote is.
What's
to
your
make-
motion, Councilwoman Keys?
Okay, section 5-1502,
Mm-hmm.
paragraph O, to keep in vintage traditional barbershop signs.
That motion was made by Councilwoman Keys.
Second.
I have a second made by Councilman Galvin. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Nay.
Okay, so the item failed because I'm not hearing the votes. Okay, so unfortunately the item fails. And just for the record, the no vote is Councilman Bieneme, Mayor Joseph, and Councilman Desme. Those are the no votes. So item fell 2-3.
To keep vintage barber shop signs?
I'm just,
Or she's voting to remove them?
I have two more.
Those are the
things.
no
Okay.
votes. Okay, you
And
have
then
two
I'm gonna-
more?
I have two more, then I'm gonna shut up.
Ready
for
when
this
you
one.
are.
Okay, consignment shops, I mean, just a discussion, section 5-1603 on page 169. Distance between consignment shops of, they were 600 feet, you've now put a distance of 1,500 feet, which is, more than a city block. We do have some nice consignment shops downtown on 125th Street, designer clothes. Do we really want to eliminate consignment shops in our city? I mean, have to keep them 1,500 feet apart?
It's
600
really a
600 feet is like,
Staff, come on.
Thank you.
Come on,
It's
come on.
really a policy decision. I
that's
mean,
why
you
I'm
have a
asking.
I will s-
downtown that you want
I
to
will
be
second the
vibrant,
councilwoman's
so-
consignment
have a
shop
motion.
language.
We need the motion.
Make
Okay.
a motion, come on, we gotta
make
do
a,
this.
I make a motion.
Just make the motion,
Okay.
Make a
second
motion
it.
from the
Okay,
get-go, right?
fine.
Very good. So Councilwoman Keys,
Motion 5-1602 to keep the distance between, oh, let's
1602
check
is the
that.
cash in,
Um,
cash in store.
No, 1603, excuse me. To keep the minimum distance requirement between consignment shops of 600 feet.
Second.
That's it.
okay, I have a motion made by Councilwoman Keys. A motion was seconded by Councilman Galvin. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
No.
Nay.
Item fails with a 2-3 vote.
Okay, last item is short-term rentals.
Section.
5-1610 on page 172. I understand we have a problem when we tweak our short-term rental.
Your motion, please.
It's more of a discussion and a question to staff. So it says unlawful of a single-family dwelling unit, including townhouses. Can we add duplexes in there?
No, there's
or-
no change proposed in there,
No change?
Councilwoman, and the state has already preempted us from making any changes to short-term
Okay.
rentals ordinances.
I just want that on the record. Because when people are, in my district, are going crazy with them, so I want to be able to tell them that our attorney said no.
Not the attorney, the state.
The attorney's opinion that the state says no. I'm done, folks.
So
Mr.
this
Mayor,
one-
I'd like to make a motion on section 5 to remove any fees as it might relate to the creation of bioswales. Make a motion to remove bioswale fees.
I have a motion made by Councilman Galvin. Do I have a second to approve
Second.
Councilman?
Where is that, where's that section?
By the way,
Councilman? I don't know, Vice Mayor.
I don't know. It was brought up by a
Staff will have
resident.
to review it, that's when people have to pay.
No, he already made the
About-
motion and there's already a second. Or the mayor wants to know the section before he votes on it.
I don't know what section, what article, what
Since
section?
we're ready for the vote.
Right there. We found it better, thank you.
Said no permit fee.
Where does it say that section? It's section, it's on page
Can you
88.
Laura, can you
88.
Article
Huh?
5.
1212 is 5-1204.
Okay,
D.
bioswale.
What is that?
5-1204D.
Yeah, page 88, Mr. Mayor.
88.
Yeah,
What is it permit?
page
Yeah.
88, capital V.
Oh, we gotta go back.
Yeah. Where does it address the paying, the fee?
Yeah, that's it.
Is it 500?
Standard of
Well, it is in the
maintenance,
500.
plans required.
Look at Laura, stand up. It is in the 500. Page 88.
Permit application.
It doesn't say fee,
Doesn't
but we
say
can add
nothing with a
language.
fee.
Yeah.
I don't see a
No. If
No, no.
we stand corrected that we're not asking for a fee to do bioswales, I was going on what a resident said.
Oh,
If it
I
doesn't
will tell
exist
you.
and we're not charging a fee,
No,
You
we
probably
can
should
add that
state it.
language.
permit.
Add that language.
Okay.
So they
Somebody
can
wants to
approve
make a
your motion.
bioswale, they should be able to do it for free.
No, it
I
requires a
second
permit,
your
we add the language.
Let's say
Yeah,
No
that's fine.
permit fee.
a no fee permit.
I second your motion.
No,
do
fee,
me.
no fee permit is perfect language. I make that motion.
That motion,
Second.
it was made, it was second, it was made, it was
Second already.
second.
Alright.
Yeah, so we're
Third,
just, okay,
third,
so
third.
all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Item passed with a 5-0 vote.
Earlier, staff
You
said
didn't
that,
hear
um,
from.
I heard them.
Sorry.
I'm trying to blow through this, bad boys, guys. Earlier, it was stated to me that by staff that Solomia is being addressed in this section 5, and that they may, as a resident said, be getting some sort of special parking exceptions in section 5. Is Solomia and parking exceptions addressed in section 5?
What do you mean, so? The parking requirements? It's PD section.
We do know or we don't know?
Let's see what section. We're looking at the parking schedule, if you could give us, second. So
They
division
wouldn't know?
14, but it's gonna lead you back to PD. So division,
Something don't smell good.
are you tabbing division 14? Back over. Yeah, we're just looking at the parking schedule. Just to make sure. Okay, here we go, parking schedule.
That's signage.
I need to go back to
Can we continue as you look, Mr. Mayor?
I have
do you
no
have any-
further questions on section 5.
Okay, while we look for this parking issue, let's move with Mr.
With me, well, I'm bringing up that issue, but I guess since they
They're,
looking
they're,
for
they're
it,
looking for it, so let's
Well-
look for another.
try-
Any other? No, the only thing that I have is section 5-109B6 about the prohibition of planters. Prohibition of planters in I guess in the NRO. As it is now, I believe the CD is prohibiting planters. Yes, but I would like to make a motion for planters to be allowed.
So I have a motion made by Mayor Smith Joseph,
those
as
things-
just stated on the record.
Those big pots where they put those little trees, planters, those things.
Do I have a second to approve the mayor's motion?
Yes.
Second?
I have a motion, I have a second made by Councilman Galvin. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Item passed with a 5-0 vote.
Okay, my next one is about
If we could go
dropping
back to
childcare, huh?
If we could go back to the Solomia question,
Mm.
there was a question asked about the parking requirements on the Solomia. That would be tucked into Article 4 under the conditional use permit. So
We
Solomia
already
has an
voted.
approved conditional use permit that lists what their parking requirements are.
and what are they?
I don't want further, no further questions.
Okay, that's
No
the,
further questions.
okay, section 5-106,
Wait,
dropping childcare. That I believe now our requirements are that the parents be present when they drop with their children at any facility. I don't think we have any jurisdiction any over private facility. We cannot dictate, parents what to do. So I think
I think this is already addressed in other section. That's why we.
it's already addressed.
Yeah.
Well,
It's unenforceable anyway.
Okay, so Mayor, what is your motion?
well, the motion is for section 5-102, 5-1402. No, I'm sorry.
Wait.
Article 5. Yeah, it should be deleted.
Okay, so that motion was made as stated on the record by Mayor Smith Joseph and clarified by our city attorney Jeff Cazot. That was Smith Joseph's motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
The motion was seconded by Vice Mayor Galvin. All in favor?
Aye.
What's the motion?
All opposed?
To stay away from child
Well, let me just-
care.
Okay, that's fine. Yes.
Well,
So item passed with a 5-0 vote.
my next amendment is on the murals. I would make a motion that's section 5-2101, that capital G, that one, for murals to be permitted in the city of North Miami. I'm not for that.
Is that a change?
Well,
That would be a prohibition. So I have a motion
That would
made.
be prohibition.
So that was a motion made by Mayor Smith Joseph as just stated on the record. Do I have a second?
second for discussion.
So I have a second made by Councilman Bieneme. Go ahead, Councilman Desiree.
Yeah.
Mr. Mayor.
Yeah.
I favor them, especially there's a couple of restaurants in my district that have been dying for these, and we've been holding off on citing them before code. One being Vega Bar on 123rd and just off of Biscayne. They've put a spectacular mural on the side of their building that Wynwood would be jealous of. If there's a way to, if this were to pass tonight, if there's a way to then come back in and allow them in certain districts, I think they can be a benefit.
I think it's a gray area for me, because for a lot of people, murals means different things. It could be it's a thin line between graffitis and murals, and that's what I'm afraid of in the city of North Miami. And the ones that are there can be grandfathered. I don't mind grandfathering the ones that are already there. Just leave them there. Well, but
They're not
Huh?
legal. They're not legal now.
That we do in there.
it's
Mr. Mayor.
We got a motion in a second. It's ready
yeah.
whenever you guys are
It's
ready.
just the discussion going
Yeah,
on.
my only concern regarding that, I totally agree, and I think I know where you coming from, but in north part of 135th Street going up to 143rd, I think Rosh and I and a couple folks have been talking about developing that into Music City, and part of that will be kind of the mural thing. So with that exception, I don't allow it anywhere, but with that exception, with that vision, north of 125th Street on the east between 7th Avenue and 95, a little bit north of Chinatown will be Music City, and the idea was be live music with the same type of stuff that was going on. So if this is passed, would that prohibit that type of development within that area, or no, it has nothing to do with that?
This language is strictly for the downtown district.
Oh, okay.
So the
Oh, okay, never
consideration
mind.
wasn't
Never mind.
for
Okay.
all areas of the city. It was
I
to
was-
start
I
it
was
in a
looking
confined area.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was looking for murals. In fact, I requested this to go in the LDRs for certain businesses. In the art overlay district, I was looking at Mary's Pound has a big plain white wall now. Thought a really pretty picture of animals depicting her pet store would be nice. We have, in my district, Vegas Burger Bar put a really cool mural on there. Nothing wrong with it.
District and it's in
What?
Scott said in his district.
Vegas?
Vegas is in District 2.
Vegas, my district.
Let's move on.
Anyway, it's nice. He'd like to keep it in the arts overlay and C2BW. Again, these murals are subject to approval by the planning department, so we couldn't have graffiti, and that's why I requested that we do this. We already have murals that have been there, I guess, that would be grandfathered in. They've been there for years. before the zoning. Okay. Well, I'd like to we have some really pretty murals on a lot of restaurants in our city, and I'd like to make them legal, so.
Are we ready to go for a vote?
Okay, so we have a motion made by Mayor Smith Joseph, as stated on the record. The motion was seconded by Councilman Bieneme. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Nay.
Nay.
Item passed with a 3-2 vote.
That's
And just
all.
for the record, Councilman Galvin and Councilwoman Keys were the 2 nay votes. Any more amendments to Article 5, Mayor?
Section 5-802, that capital E, that 5, in the transit-oriented design, standard architectural design, new buildings shall be oriented so as to face public street, active open space accessible to the public. That would take care of some of the issues.
So, Mayor, was that your motion as you stated on the record?
Yes.
I second that.
Okay, so I have a motion made. You understand what he just said, right? We have a motion made by Mayor Smith Joseph. That motion was seconded by Councilman Desime. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Item passed with a 5-0 vote.
My last one, section 5-1405.b, to add a new subsection 4, that boats or boat trailers shall not be stored in the front yard of a single-family waterfront residential property.
I second.
I have a motion made by Mayor Smith Joseph, as just stated on the record. I have a second made by Councilman Bieneme. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Item passed with a 5-0 vote.
That's it for me, guys.
Any more amendments to Article 5?
When it comes, oh, go ahead.
I'll make a motion.
That's you.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
sorry. Sorry.
Go, not necessarily in Article 5, but you said something, Tanya. I wanted to know more about the Biscayne lending in Article 3, in Article 4. So please clarify me, because I don't know nothing about
You
it.
already voted for article.
I know, but I would like to get some public. I didn't know. Well, obviously, it's clearly, Mr. Mayor.
So
I voted for something I didn't know. Yes.
Hold on.
we just wanted to clarify that Biscayne Landing has an approved conditional use permit that has all the development standards listed, from their parking, their open space, the units approved.
I know, but I'm a little
It's not
upset with
listed in
staff
this book. It's an
because you guys should
external
have brought that to me during our briefing.
It's since like 2012. It's
Oh,
predates this
so-
process. It's not this.
Oh, so this has nothing to do with me, Alex Desume.
I was
Perfect. Okay.
clarifying
No.
for
Leave it alone.
Councilman
Leave it alone. Thank you.
Galvin before.
I think Councilman Galvin was in the middle of a motion.
Motion
Article
motion to approve this article that we just went through. Article 5.
So I have a motion made by Mayor Smith Joseph to approve Article 5 as amended, and that motion was seconded by Vice Mayor Galvin. I'm sorry, I'm getting a brain freeze. All in favor?
Aye.
All
Nay.
opposed?
Nay.
Okay, item passed with a 4-1 vote.
Article 6. That would be.
No vote.
That would be, if you were going in order, that would be like page 248. No, 249.
So it didn't start with page 1?
It starts with page 1, but just to guide you.
249.
Oh, that's the last page you saying.
The last page of 5 is 248. So page 1 is really 249.
Got it. That's the last section.
Any amendment? Councilwoman, start with you. Vice Mayor?
Done for 6.
Just Article 6 on page 6.
Councilman?
Oh, no, not for 6.
Councilman Bien-Aimé?
No.
Motion to approve.
Second.
So I have a motion made by Mayor Joseph to
Is
approve.
that me?
I have a motion made by Mayor Joseph to approve Article 6 as
I
is.
did.
The second, the motion was seconded by Councilman Desime. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Item passed with a 5-0 vote.
Thank you very much. Now we are at Article 7. Councilwoman?
Nothing.
Definitions. Vice Mayor?